I'm Christina.
And I'm Ben.
And we are the McMillan Express.
Choo choo! All aboard!
And we are interviewing Don and Claudia East today of Short Trailer.
All aboard!
Hi, I'm Don.
I'm Claudia.
And we're
Short Trailer. Today, we are collaborating with McMillan Express.
Yes.
It is going to be really a fun little video, so we hope you stay with us. They happen to be clear across the U.S. from us, so we find lots of neat things to do and see that we don't know about.
Yes, and the other thing I think is really neat is like this community does. We met them on YouTube, clear across the country, and they just were fun and talked and seemed happy people, like we've talked to around campfires. And so Claudia reached out to them.
And I said, would you like to collaborate? And they just gave a resounding yes. They're great folks.
Yeah.
So they've asked us some questions, and we are going to get started.
Don and Claudia reached out to us a long time ago. They have been one of our very first followers from when we first started back. I think that they reached out to us back in July.
Yeah, I would say July.
And they've always sent us words of encouragement and advice and just kind of cheered us on with our YouTube channel. So Don and Claudia have a couple different blogs. They have, not only do they have their vlog, Short Trailer, on YouTube, they have shorttrailer.com. They have, it's called Siskiyou County.
Bless you.
Camping, Siskiyou County Camping, that's the county that they live in. And they also have Camping Along I-5, I think that's what it's called.
Yes, and if we're looking down, it's because we have some notes that we don't want to forget.
Yeah, so we're going to list everything about Don and Claudia in our description if you guys want to check them out. They are the cutest couple ever. They're just a blast to watch. They're fun and they're interesting and they're just as sweet as they can be.
Yeah, they really are. Really cool people from the West Coast. And
we aspire to be Don and Claudia one day.
Really down-to-earth folks as well, too.
They're retired high school teachers. I've said it before, I'll say it again, especially being a high school teacher, but being a teacher is the hardest job. I can't even imagine.
She said it again.
Yeah, so anyways, very sweet people, very cool people. We are very excited to be interviewing them because they have done it all.
Yeah, they have.
They have traveled in
airplanes. They've done airplanes.
Pretty much any form of travel that you can think. I don't think that
boats.
I don't think that they've done any blogging about trains.
Who knows? Maybe they have. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to meet them once we're in the California area, which should probably be within the next year or so.
Yeah, God willing.
Yeah, we can have some campfire stories. Very excited to have some campfire stories.
That should be pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and ask them some questions and do a little interview with them. How long have you guys been RVing?
Can I start?
You may.
I've been camping for over 65 years.
And I've been camping at least 50.
We both camped in Volkswagen buses as hippies. Yeah, we've gone through a whole lot of different trailers. The first RVing I ever did was one my parents actually bought, and that would have been probably in the mid-70s. Yeah. I would say mid-70s.
Yeah, and I think when Don and I were first married, we borrowed that RV for a while, and then later we wound up with it from his parents, and we did a tremendous amount of RVing. It was a
Dodge motorhome, 19 feet.
Yeah.
And boy, do we have a lot of stories with that one.
Yeah, we do. But we loved it.
Yeah, we did. It was a nice arrangement. And Claudia actually lived in trailers off and on a couple times when she was quite young. So she probably has a longer experience with those vehicles than I do.
Yeah, perhaps. My mom and my stepdad were migrant workers part of the time. My stepdad would harvest wheat or harvest rice. He'd go up and down. And so my mom and my stepdad often lived in a trailer, and I would go and stay with them. And got a lot of experience doing that, and they love to go camping and fishing. So as a kid, I did a lot of that with them as well.
And I probably started out, I think, 4 years old, camping in tents with my family in Yosemite. So camping's been part of my life.
Yeah, mine too.
We better get to the next question.
So what are your thoughts on all of these 30-somethings or 40-somethings doing this full-time RV lifestyle? And is it something that you would have considered looking back on now, doing that as a full-time lifestyle when you were our age?
So, what's the question again?
What do we think about the 30-somethings?
Oh, I think the 30-somethings is wonderful. I'm envious. I know I kind of did that, and so did Claudia back when I was that age. In fact, I was doing technical rock climbing in Yosemite around that age. So I used to go to Yosemite and camp in Yosemite a lot. Did I do it full time? No. I don't think there were many people who had thought of it then. So it's one of the things for us. Maybe we were born a little too late, but I don't really think so.
A little too early.
Oh, a little too early. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's really great that you're doing it now. If you can afford it and you can simultaneously plan for your eventual retirement, whatever, I'm sure you've thought it all through. That's really a good thing. Because even though we still camp and love to camp, physically there's some things we can't do as well as we once did. And so getting to go to some of these places when you're younger and a little more agile is probably the right thing.
Very, very important. You know, it was like when I was rock climbing. I was young and very active, and I thought nothing of it. There's no way I would do that today. So yeah, 30-somethings or even younger, go for it. Live in America. It's a wonderful place.
Yes, it really, really is. So anyway, if we could have then, we probably would have, but we did it in the summers. In college, we were always off on vacation time. In our Volkswagen buses traveling the world. At that time, back in the 60s, they were building a lot of new Forest Service campgrounds.
Yes.
And so it was really affordable for us. I remember most of the Forest Service campgrounds were $3 a night. So you could manage to stay, or you could just pull off on the side of the road. It was much safer then. We didn't even worry about anybody accosting us or telling us to leave.
Well, the other thing I got to do, I hitchhiked through a good part of Europe on $5 a day. Can you imagine that? It was wonderful.
Anyway,
we better get to another question.
Yeah, we better.
Okay. As we said, we could go on forever. Let's meet at a campground, then we can get this stuff over with later.
Yeah, it's especially good stories after 2 beers.
Yes, yeah.
So how many different types of RVs have you had, and which one is your favorite?
We haven't sat down and counted all our rigs, but I think we've probably had a total of 10 rigs. Everything from SUV, trailers, fifth wheels, and we even had a 25-foot long car trailer that we towed. You do it. I'm not.
We towed.
Yeah, historic cars in.
Yeah.
So.
Well, however, one of our favorites was a 1946 teardrop original kit, and we had that sweet little thing for 33 years.
Yeah.
We didn't camp in it all the time because sometimes we had some of the other rigs as well. But we loved that thing, and we camped in it a great deal. We went to the first International Teardrop meet in Minden, Nebraska. It was a great trip.
Can I actually, the first time we really used it is we went to watch the first space shuttle land in the California desert. That kind of gives you a hint on how young we are.
Well, let's not go there.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Yes, we've had a lot of rigs, and right now we have our short trailer, which is a 16-foot Bambi Airstream, and it's a 1963 model. It's a restored one, Don did. It's a great little trailer, and we bumped up from our teardrop. we upsized, as it were, and we're happy because it's fully self-contained.
Yes. Yeah.
So we don't have to slog out in the rain in the winter time to go to the restroom.
Or at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
On to the next question.
Next question.
Thanks.
Our stories can, again, go on forever.
So tell us about your sailboat experience. And was it very different from RV life? Because I'm trying to get Ben to think about maybe sailing one of these days.
Good luck with that.
Ah, yes.
And how long did we do that? And where did we go?
As far as length of time, you probably are better at that, roughly.
We had one sailboat, our main one, for a little over 10 years, maybe 12. It was a 30-foot Erickson sailboat.
I love that boat.
Oh, me too. We kept it in Monterey Bay, California.
One of the neatest places in the whole world.
It was. We had several other small sailboats that in between and during the same time. A little 14-foot Lido. Can't remember the name of some of the others.
Well, I first learned to sail in a dinghy, and it just happened to be that was what available. But if you talk to many sailors, that's probably the best way to begin learning how to sail, is in a dinghy, because you really get a feel for, you know, the wind, the ropes, the whole thing about sailing.
Yeah, you really do. And it's really fun. We found it to be a great family activity.
Yeah.
Our son grew up sailing, taught sailing when he was in high school and college. It was just great. And I think he just sold his sailboat that he had, a Hobie Cat, this last winter.
And I don't know if you had any Hobie Cat experience, or anybody, you know, that would be listening to our videos. That's a whole nother story. These are campfire stories. They could go on forever. But a Hobie's a neat boat because it's one of those, you go like hell. It's a two pontoon boat, and you sail fast enough that one lifts clear out of the water like this, and you're sailing on one pontoon, going like fire, and things can change very quickly. But I'd like to say that's stories for later.
Yeah. But the sailboat we had was a complete sailboat. We did a lot of sailing. We sailed under the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
A couple of different times.
It was really fun to sail in the San Francisco Bay.
Yep.
It had a galley. It had a restroom, or head, they call them in the sailing industry.
It was like an RV. It just happened to float on the water. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. We had a lot of fun with that boat. It was a wonderful experience. I would recommend everybody to at least try sailing.
Oh, yes.
Even if you think you might get seasick, you'd get your sea legs after a while.
Yeah, there's a way you can deal with it and learn how to deal with it, and it's not a problem. So with proper training, it's really a lot of fun and well worth the time and energy. And we would probably still have a sailboat to this day, except at my particular point in life, I no longer have the strength to handle lines when the wind gets rough or move around on the boat freely. So it's just not really something. If I had a crew, you know, if I had $1 million and I had a crew, I'd love to go sailing.
Yeah, yeah, we would. Some of the best places we went sailing were probably from Monterey Bay itself is wonderful, to San Francisco from Monterey. You do beat up wind, and it's a little rough sometimes, but coming back's a breeze. And we also have sailed out of Port Hueneme in Southern California to the Catalina Islands. And that's a wonderful sail as well. There's some beautiful things. You see the dolphins running beside you. Oh, they're great. In Monterey, you can sail out and see the whales. We've done that. It was just a rich, wonderful experience.
It's kind of like camping on land and being in the forest where you see deer and bear and all the other kinds. The thing is that when you're on the sea, you're seeing sea animals, you know. And they're really exciting. They're just as interesting as animals anywhere. One of the things that's neat about the dolphins we used to do is you get way up on the nose of the boat and you look over the side as the dolphins come along like this. They tip over sideways like this, and they look up at you, and then they whistle at you, and then they go down and go off. So you know they're beings. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But anyway, that's a few of our sailing stories, which again, as Don said, we would go on forever. So we'll try to end that one and go
next
to
the
next
question. Yeah, right.
Have you guys traveled the East Coast yet? And if not, do you plan on doing it?
Because Florida is awesome.
I second that.
Yes, we have plans. We'd like to be a number of places. Claudia's been on the East Coast really more than I have, and before I knew her.
Yes. I had a girlfriend, and we went to the East Coast, and we went to New England and traveled around one summer. It was great. Visited some other, college friends that we had. And we had a lovely time. And I've been to the East Coast a few times. Don and I used to have an airplane, a private plane, and we flew around the United States one year. And that was really quite an experience.
That's a whole nother campfire, by the way.
That's a whole other hour-long video.
Yep.
But anyway, we did do that. And we did go to Washington, D.C. and up the coast. But we haven't been to the southern part of the United States other than we visited the Miami airport a couple of times. But that's not exactly seeing things in your area.
And we were down where the Mardi Gras and stuff is.
Well, we were, yes. But I don't think they consider that the eastern United States.
Well, it is to us.
Yeah. Anything west of the Rockies is east.
It's like we live in Northern California, and you've probably heard lots of people tell you where Northern California is. In our view, Northern California doesn't even start to begin until after Redding, California.
So California is 800 miles long.
Yeah.
So until you get to mile 700, you're not in the north.
Yeah.
So we really don't even know the answer to this if somebody asks us this question, but we would like to know what compelled you guys to start a YouTube channel. And do you find it rewarding? Do you find it hard? What's your favorite part about it?
Oh, yeah, I think that's really interesting. I mean, we had been camping because we had our Bambi. In fact, we've been camping for several years because it's been 14 years since I restored the Bambi.
Mm-hmm.
And we got just watching TV from time to time. I like YouTube. There's so many things on YouTube. And I started watching some YouTube channels. And one of the first ones that caught me was Nomadic Fanatic. I don't know if you've seen Nomadic Fanatic, but if you haven't, you really need to watch him. He's been on the air for
5 years.
5 years. And like so many people online, he's really grown in his techniques and his ability. He even went to a community college and studied filmmaking and video work. So he had some skills when he started. We watched several. And of course we watch
the McMillan Express.
The McMillan Express. Yeah, we've really enjoyed it. So probably as you've noticed and you've talked about in your stuff, there's just so many people that we have met through YouTube and online. We feel like we know them as well as we know our neighbors, like yourself, even though you're clear across the other side of the country. So once we saw that taste of that community, I think we were both hooked.
Yeah, I think so too. We had some other experiences just online with forums, Airstream forums, other kinds of forums where you meet people and talk. And that's always been really rewarding, and we've met a lot of great people. We've done a lot of camping with people we met online.
Yeah.
Interesting story, I'll tell you one little bit. When our son first heard, way back when he was in college, that we were going camping with people we met online.
Oh yeah, right, this is a good story.
We got a lecture.
Yeah.
How do you know they're safe? How do you know you're not going to meet up with, somebody who's going to slice and dice you? Anyway, it was He was really good about it. He was very concerned that Mom and Dad weren't following the same rules we gave him as a kid.
Yeah, we weren't being safe, you know, and he wanted to make sure we... So, you know, we understood it, but, you know, the world has changed, I think, and that's one of the things that's really supreme about this community.
One of the things that I really liked is that it gives one an avenue to reach out to others you would never have a chance to meet.
Yeah, for sure.
And we really like that. It expands your universe. It gives you a good feeling. There's a lot of really good people out there, and that's great. You know, sometimes you read the news and you see all the news reports on TV or radio or whatever you listen to, and it gets kind of gloomy. But when you're on YouTube and you look for the right things, you just find lots of great stuff. People helping others.
The thing that really has been good for me is this community is a community of Americans, you know, people who are friendly, they're kind, they love to share, they help each other when they need help. It's just the kind of community that I was taught supposed to exist when I was growing up, and it's really cool and rewarding to see it.
Yeah, and I think for old folks, we like learning new stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps us feeling like we're not just, you know, the dullard little old couple doing nothing. So.
Yeah, I heard once somebody say about, can an old dog learn new tricks? Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah. So anyway.
That's what compelled us.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, if you guys want to follow along with Don and Claudia's journey, their vlog on YouTube is called Short Trailer. You can find them on shorttrailer.com. You can find them on either one of their blogs, which is, what is the name of that county? Siskiyou.
Bless you.
Siskiyou County Camping, or Camping Along I-5, which goes over Washington, California, and Oregon camping. So we will check out those blogs whenever we're in that area. I've already checked it out a little bit, and it looks like it's going to be really helpful in finding places to camp. But their videos on their Short Trailer YouTube channels are just as fun as can be. So you won't regret it. Check them out. We'll put their information in the description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up.
And a big thanks and a big shout out to Don and Claudia again for giving us this opportunity to give them interview them as well. So we really appreciate it, guys.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Really fun to get to know them. Can't wait to meet them in person.
Until then, McMillan Express out. Peace.
Ben and Christina, thank you so much for making a contact with us. And when Claudia sent you a note about doing this, you jumped right in and you did a lot of questions and gave stuff to us. And I can't tell you how much we're anxious sometimes to run into you at a campsite, have a campfire. I don't know if you have beers, but if you do, a couple of beers, and just learn all about you and all the stories that you have to tell.
Yes, it should be really fun. And when you come to California, you need to let us know. We will tell you all the good places to go.
We'll even make an effort to find you.
Yes, we will.
Okay, so you guys, thanks so much for the contact. Thanks so much for being a friend. And until we talk again, or until we run into each other again, wonderful travels and have a great time.
Yes, thanks so much, Ben and Christina.
Bye.